Hello, fellow star seeds. Welcome back to Psychic Empath Raven Willow's YouTube channel. As always, please like and subscribe. We're doing makeup free today because I've been broken out in hives, having some stress reactions to things in life. So, this is what you get. But today I am excited because I have been wanting to talk about the different universal beings that I come in contact with and working through the Akashic Records and just having contact with them in general. So today we're going to talk about the Sirians from the star system A, B, and C. And yes, there is a C. It has been noted and noted in ancient times. So there'll be a lot of back and forth of sharing the screen so that you can see the images. There's a lot of imagery in this one. So first off, let's just show you what they actually look like. So you'll notice a lot of them are shown with elongated heads, which have been mimicked by humans throughout the world. There have been actual skulls found that are elongated naturally. They have no sagittal sutures. If you don't know what that is, it's the little lines in your skull that form together when you're a baby. They do not have those sagittal sutures. They often have a bluish gray appearance, and they obviously come from the star system of Sirius. It's the brightest star in our sky. You can often see this triangle around it. And if you're lucky enough and it's a dark enough night, you can see Sirius B. Current astronomers do not recognize the fact that there is a Sirius C, but there is, and I will get into that in just a little while. So the Sirians are very peaceful, very healing. They have an affinity with sea creatures, mer people, sprites in the water, fairies of the water, different things like that. So just going out at night and staring at this star alone it brings on a very peaceful feeling for you. All communication with universal beings is telepathic. I say this in all of my videos. They think Earth is way too loud, which it is for me too. And you can actually learn this skill and communicate telepathically with your family and friends and animals and nature and everything around you. It just takes practice. So gather a friend together and start practicing this and start sending messages to each other telepathically. You'll find that it starts to work very well and it becomes very easy for you. So that is what they look like if you encounter them. And there's a lot of history on this group of universal beings. They obviously had a large role to play in Egypt and the building of the pyramids and the way that they're aligned. Yes, they are aligned to Orion as well, but within like the Queen's Chamber in the Great Pyramid, it's aligned to the Sirius star system. So this is just a diagram of how that pyramid is laid out and how it aligns with Orion, with Sirius, and what is going on within the chambers. So, if you ever get the chance to actually go into the Great Pyramid, there is like a resonance area where frequencies resonate and they're healing. And the ancient Egyptians were very aware of this and they took advantage of it. Um, so take in their energy when you're staring up at the star system. You can actually focus on that and ask them to communicate with you, to help you, to heal you. Um, you may get just a feeling, or you may start to get direct messages depending on your own gifts and abilities and how those come along for you in life, because they obviously get stronger and stronger the more that you use them. So, very important. Um, Also, practice with meditation. You can contact your universal beings through meditation. So, set your intention and with whom you want to speak to. And most people are very practiced at setting up boundaries and protections when they're going to go into deep meditation. Because one, you don't want anything coming in that you wouldn't want there. And two, you want to make sure it's as peaceful and as quiet as possible for yourself. So make sure your mind is calm and your environment is calm and that you're just listening. The more you practice this, the more it gets easier. And it's just something that you can, in time, do without thinking about it. Kind of like riding a bike. You've learned how to ride a bike. Now you know how to ride a bike. So, Sirius star is in direct alignment with the Queen's Chamber in the Great Pyramid, like I said. It plays a huge role in ancient mythology. It's got a lot of ties to a lot of ancient temple sites and pyramid sites all over the world. Monolithic sites like Göbekli Tepe is also in there. Got to drink our tea for our belly because I'm a universal being, and when I get inflammatory responses, we got to like take care of all of that. Um, so the Egyptians worship the Sirians, um, they, knowing the role in creating life and humanity's growth. So that also included with upgrading our DNA so that we could become a more advanced type of being. And that's what they want for humanity. They want humanity to become a peaceful, loving group and stop with the separations of ourselves through race and politics and economics and war and all the other horrid things that humans do to this earth and on this earth. Um, Sirians also represent immortality, so which is a great deal of importance, obviously, to the ancient Egyptians. But anybody that goes into the Akashic Records, you know that mortality and death is not, there is no death. You just move on to your next life experience, or you're out of your body and you're helping somebody on earth that still needs you around for a while before you reincarnate into something else. My Akashic records go back many, many lives throughout the universe and on earth. Um, they're also responsible for creating a lot of ancient Egypt and as well as taking place in the Atlantean system and Lemuria, which was part of the Atlantean system. And I've talked in previous podcasts about the Atlantean system. No treasure hunter, no archaeologist, no anybody is going to find Atlantis, this long lost city. It's not a city, it was a system. The entire world was linked technologically, knowledgeably, through portals. They Humans knew about this, the alien beings knew about this, the Anunnaki were around. So we lost that over time because the knowledge was taken from the humans. And then the world was kind of plunged into darkness. And I had a pretty big role to play in cutting off of that knowledge plunging the world into the dark, crappy place that it is right now. But um, they're also depicted in many other parts of the ancient world, from South America to Easter Island. They had a huge hand in humanity's evolution and their growth. So the Egyptian annual calendar is marked by the rise of Sirius A and B on the horizon. And this happens every July 25th, and it's also the same marker on the Mayan calendar. So the Mayans talked about the fourth corn people that descended from the river in the sky. That is the Sirians, which is the river in the sky is the Milky Way. Um, it eclipses a fundamental time system that all humans use today. We actually should be on the lunar calendar and not the calendar that we are on momentarily, but there it be. And some other images for you to look at. These are images that have come from around the world in different places. This is obviously the Mayan calendar, if you looked at that ever before. Depictions of Sirius and zodiac signs and different things from other cultures and races around the world. So there was a lot of contact with these beings throughout the world, with the ancient people. So in Egypt, it was considered like connected with Isis, the mother of creation, and it's related to water and the flooding of the Nile. And when the stars appear on the Nile, it will start to grow. The Nile will start to grow. And I have a doggy being very naughty. Okay, that handles that. We always have animals around on my podcast. So when the stars appear, the Nile will start to grow. The rivers, waters will start to grow, fill the banks, feed the plant life, feed the animals, feed the people. So Sirius was a guiding light for people on times of planting and harvesting and starting the new year. So if you are not familiar with the goddess Isis, there she is in all of her glory. She is beautiful to behold. And there's a lot of people that have and feel past life connections with her. And you also have to remember that these beings could be several places at one time. So time is fluid. It's not just past, present, future. It's happening and interflowing together all the time. And now Doggy wants to come back on my lap. He can't make up his mind. Okay, here we go. Sit down, bud. Say hi to everybody on Zoom. There we go. So, um, the god is said to come from Sirius in Ptah. And you'll notice the frequency rods that he holds in his hands when you see him in hieroglyphics in Egypt. It opens portals, opens stargates. He's the god of smithcraft and alchemy. He even has a double helix in his hieroglyph. He could make and form any human body, and that is energy that could function within while mixed with hominid. So man evolved from here. And why? So that we could evolve and climb the ladder to heaven, which is the universe, which is the universal language of love and peace and harmony. And we need to strive for that a lot more as a people. So, and they were here to enlighten us, to educate us. They made our bodies more conductive vehicle for the ascension process of your energy. So once you start the ascension process, I have done a podcast on that, and ascension symptoms that start to happen with people. Um, the hives that I get are an ascension symptom. Um, I've everything that I've wanted to eat in life has changed. The people I want to hang out with changes. The things that I want to do has changed. So all of that is going to change. So they're here to help you with that. So when you're having these problems and you're going on this ascension path, call in the Sirians to help you and help adjust and say, I need a DNA adjustment on this bio body, tech body that I'm in, that my energy is in right now because it's all out of whack. So they made our bodies more conductive and of a vehicle for that ascension and to become your higher self and to recognize your higher self. And Ptah, he always carries his rod and it is covered in feathers because he flies. So he is both tech and bio, as we all are. And I'll just show you some of those hieroglyphs of Ptah. So there he is with his staff. And you'll notice in right here, these are the resonators. These are the frequencies that can open portals that can help him travel from here and there. Here's the double helix of DNA that was manipulated and helped humans start that ascension process. And modern science is only now beginning to see the inner workings and movements of gravitational pull between the two stars of A and B. And archaeologists have found cave drawings and recognize the pattern as the exact rotation of Sirius A and B star systems. And this is just more proof of the power of this star system and the connection that it had to all ancient peoples of the world. And this is very important because the Dugon tribe in Africa have documented the Sirius star system for thousands and thousands of years. They're the oldest living tribe in Africa, goes back 10,000 years. You can see here, this is a Dugon drawing on one of their cave art paintings. And this is an astronomical diagram of Sirius A and B. And you'll notice that there's clusters of three because there's three stars. And you'll also notice the being that's depicted in this cave art has the elongated head. So the Dugons know about the Sirians. They still worship them to this day. They still talk about them to this day. And here's another little drawing from, it's a replica of one of the drawings that they have done. So it tells you what they all are in this little graph here. And everything is labeled very nicely for you. And there's Sirius C, Sirius A, Sirius B. There's other stars within the Sirius system as well. They represent different things. So if you want to just pause the video and take a look at that anytime, it's here for you to study. Oh, I have been having since this morning cats fighting under my house, loud neighbors yelling at each other. The dogs are all on edge. It has like been the craziest freaking day. I'm like, what is going on with this energy today? So, anyway, the Dugons know very much about the Sirians and still worship and talk to them and to this day. So Sirius is also known as the dog star. It's been influential in astronomical history. It's linked to many ancient sites, including Göbekli Tepe, which I mentioned, which is in Turkey. This dates back to the 10th millennium BC. It's the oldest known stone built sacred structure and may have been oriented to follow the appearance of Sirius in the southern skies. So some scientists speculate that it's an astronom- astrological, nomical, astronomical observatory. Let's go back Tepe. It's also depicted in Newgrange, Ireland. Um, this monument was built so that winter solstice sunrise would shine into its roof box and chamber. And Sirius is also transitioning the sky window at the same time. So at certain times of year, it's marking those calendar events in these old sites. So Sirius may have been aligned with the winter solstice in the Neolithic times. It is also documented in Karahanj, Armenia. So this site features hundreds of vertically constructed boulders, and they're in a deliberate arrangement. The stars of Sirius and Orion can be shining through and above the moonlight stones. And it's also depicted in Day el Bahari, Egypt. The astronomical ceiling of the tomb of Sediment depicts the goddess Sopdet, who represents Sirius. So it's even painted in a tomb of a king. So the brightest star in Egypt is just reigns bright with firmament. Other ancient monuments in Egypt also have things that are oriented towards Sirius. All things in Saqqara. It's not just the Giza Plateau. It's all of those sites in Egypt. So Sirius is the brightest star in the night sky, and it's been very significant to many cultures throughout history. Like I said, the ancient Egyptians, even the ancient Greeks talked about the Sirians and depicted them. Ancient Romans talked about them and depicted them. Ancient Chinese people wrote about them and depicted them. They have temple sites in China that are covered over by forests that they just don't want to do anything about archaeology wise. I'm not sure why that is, but they they have different these different cultures have different names for the Syrian people. So the Chinese called them the Singlang, which means heavenly wolf. The Romans associated the Syrians with the long, hot days of summer. Native American people have them depicted all over in their pictographs, their cave drawings. They had names for Sirius and legends about the star system that involved dogs and wolves, including Moondog and Dogface or Blackfoot or Wolf Star is the Pawnee name for them. And it's a wolf that hangs by the side of heaven. So, all over the world. Ancient temple and the tomb of the Mayan king in Tikal is one of the largest archaeological sites in the urban centers in pre Columbian Mayan history. Tikal was the capital of a conquest state that became one of the most powerful kingdoms for the ancient Maya. So, through architecture, and the site dates back as far as the 4th century BC. Tikal reached its apogee during the Classic period, known in Mayan history, the Classic period. So, like 200 to 900 AD. And during this time, um, the city was dominated. It dominated much of the Mayan region and the people. It was a gathering place. So the pyramid monument is known as Temple 1 or the Temple of the Great Jaguar. It stands 47 meters high and was built in the 8th century. And if you would like to see a quick picture of that temple, I have one of those for you as well. There it is in all its beautiful glory, and you can see Sirius hanging out right up above it. And it was also well known to the Incans. The star Sirius is known to the Incans as the Willow Warrior, sacred star. It was a star that encouraged um, and protected the tuber crops of the Andes. It appeared during sowing and remained in the sky until it was time to harvest. So basically, all pyramid sites are connected to Sirians and were linked. And as far as the entire Earth, it was a clean, complete system where civilizations knew each other, they traveled to each other. Ancient Egyptians have been even known to be in the Grand Canyon. There have been actual Mayan ruins found in Alaska. Yes, you can Google that. It has happened. Um, so, watching the Sirius star system is watching for the solstices. When is it time to sow? When is it time to harvest? So, Sirius is an aquatic planet system, star system. Therefore, it's associated with mer people, marine life here on Earth, the water flow on Earth, which brings the ties to Atlantis and Lemuria, because Atlantis was in the Atlantic Ocean and now is sunk way down deep into the mid Atlantic rift. And Lemuria disappeared after the big floods, too. The big floods were an actual real thing, but there wasn't a one dude with one ship named Moses that gathered up all these critters and put them on his boat. It was a whole series of people that were told to build ships and take animals and their people other places so that humanity could survive. Um, and that was when the knowledge was getting cut off from the earth because humans were using it for the wrong reasons. Um, it was a very it's a very beautiful place, tranquility, harmony, colors, the water, the plants, the animals. Like I would just love to be dumped in Sirius star system and just left to hang out there for vacation for a while because I mean, wow, you want to talk about some interaction with some nature, that would be the way to do it. So the next time you have an interaction with a sea creature, especially a mammal sea creature, you're looking at it and you're feeling that it is a highly intelligent animal with language, with feelings, with memories, and yes, they are Sirians. So whales, dolphins, all of these things. And just a little image collection here for you. Sirians are depicted as mer people and obviously communicate with our oceanic critters out there. So Sirius had 7 moons, and people can take on it. You can take on a blue or a brownish appearance depending on where and whom they're interacting with. Um, the Sirian people can take on a blue or brownish appearance. Palladians are blue as well, a little bit. Arcturians are definitely blue. They're depicted all over ancient India, but yeah, they can appear in the third dimensional reality, which is our reality. And when you come in contact with them all the time, they normally work in the fifth dimension. So the higher you elevate yourself and go up this ascension process, the more interactions you're going to have with them, and the further up your dimensions you're going to travel. Sirians are healers, they're knowledge keepers, they're here to elevate us. So much larger, the look of the Sirians, they're much larger than what you consider a human in as far as size. Um, they have that bit of an elongated head, no hair, and they communicate telepathically. Everything, they're not emotional like humans, how we have laughter and fears and stress and all of these things. They're very gentle, very utopian. They know themselves, they have self-respect for themselves, they have love for themselves. So they do have a lot of technology. Their ships are in the shape of a tetrahedron, and I have actually seen one of these, and it was the craziest thing I have ever seen. So it was gigantic. I mean, ginormous. And I was out in the West Desert in Utah. And if anybody knows anything about the West Desert in Utah, it's kind of a creepy place to be because you've got Dugway Proving Grounds out there. There's a lot of nuclear missiles that are stored out there. So this thing was completely camouflaged. Like birds were just flying right through it. I could only see it because the way that the car was traveling when we were coming back out of the desert, as long as the road stayed on that path, I could see the sun. Like I could see the form of it. And it was gigantic, but it was completely camouflaged and things were moving in and out of it as if it was not there. So I just stood there and stared at it. I couldn't really get video or picture of it at the time because we had gone out there to dig up geodes in the West Desert and we blew a tire and I had to get us back to town to get a new tire before it got dark and get us out of the desert because it's a really long drive to get out to where we were. So as I'm driving, I just kept watching this thing and like honing in on it, like psychically and reading it because first of all, any UFO or whatever you want to call them that you see flying around in the sky does not necessarily mean it's a universal being craft. Humans do have advanced technology. We do have these things. We have had them for many, many, many years. I think that's been proven by now by people like Bob Lazar, and all the sightings are becoming more and more and more. You're seeing more and more just average people taking videos of UAPs and things flying around. So keep your spidey senses open. That's what I call them, so that you can hone in on it and tell, is this universal beings or is this something that humans have built? And this was definitely the Sirians. And I, just because of where I was with them out in that West Desert and all of the creepy military crap that goes on out there, they're watching. They're watching because they're very scared of what humans are doing to the planet. And they're very scared of nuclear war and very scared of us destroying this planet, which we're pretty much on the verge of doing. Like, we're almost at the tipping point where we're not going to come back from it. And that's just the truth, people. And we did it to ourselves, so you can't complain when it comes. Um, so I was communicating with them, just letting them know that I realized that they were there and to help us get out of the desert safely on that little donut tire that I was driving around. Um, but this is the best picture that I could come up with that showed what I was looking at, except for it blended in with everything. Like clouds were moving through it, birds were flying through it. So their technology is really advanced. And like I said, the only reason I saw it in the first place is just because of the way the sun was hitting it at that particular angle on the road at that particular time. Because as soon as the road started to bend, then I couldn't see it anymore, but I could still feel it there and I could still feel them there. So there were Sirius A, B, and C. So Sirius C was destroyed, but not by war. As I've gone through my own Akashic records, it was an astrological event that happened, and Sirius C is a portal system now, and just some depictions of the Sirians on Earth. You see a lot of this in Egypt with the elongated head, and like I said, you'll see some other pictures come up soon. So humans mimicked them and represented themselves and made their heads like this. So they wrapped their heads differently to make their heads become that shape. Um, and different things. Some people use wood, things like that on their babies and things. So um, real Syrians on Earth. So the proof is in the depiction. It's in like ancient Sumeria. So we all know about the Anunnaki. Um, for more information on that, I've already done a podcast about the Anunnaki, actually, probably a couple of them because I was a member of the original seven. Um, and so I remember this time very well. They are depicted with wings, elongated heads as mer people. Um, and there's a cave in Nazca, Peru, where a female mummy was discovered. It had an elongated skull, 3 fingers, 3 toes, um, wide looking eyes, and scientists called her Maria. And the DNA study shows that it was not human. So this is actually her DNA chart, which I am not a geneticist, so I'm not even going to even try to break this down for you guys, but this is the genetics that they ran on Maria and found out that she was not a human that had wrapped her skull to make it look like that. And here is Maria. And now it's being contested that this is all fake because more and more people are getting knowledge of this, knowledge of her, and trying to say this is a plaster cast and different things like that. And but they had already run DNA studies on Maria, and she's very much not of this world. But she did obviously die in this world. And the way that she's placed looks a lot like what Incans used to do to bury their dead. They would be in the seated position with their arms crossed like that. You would see that a lot in Incans. And these two subjects are the actual skulls that they have found with no sagittal sutures. So these are not human skulls. These are Syrians skulls. Um, and the DNA also showed that they were not human. They were from a different planet. So Syrians are a guiding force for humanity to this day. And those of us that have communication with them understand their role on the planet and the part that they're trying to do desperately to save it. The Earth is going through huge changes. It's past its fixing points. We're not stopping what we're doing. We're not stopping burning fossil fuels. We're not stopping this greed and corruption system. So all I can say is things are going to start to crumble and get bad because instead of cutting off the knowledge like we did in the past, we don't want that to happen again because that'll just make Earth worse. We want the Earth to be saved, and the universal beings want the Earth to be saved. So people need to get used to the fact that there's going to be a lot left to repair. That's why you're seeing crazy storms, crazy mudslides, crazy tidal waves, earthquakes, volcanoes, all of these natural events happening because the earth is fighting back, but the universal beings also have a part to play in that, and they're causing these things to happen too for a reason. They're constantly yelling as best as they would yell, stop what you're freaking doing. Like you're ruining your own environment, and humans are the only thing on this planet that deliberately ruin their own environment. So they want it to be back to healthy. They want us to have clean, renewable energy, not nuclear. Um, and unfortunately, greed took over that system. Nikola Tesla was kicked out of the game during the Industrial Revolution by scheming and nasty Thomas Edison. He was just an imposter. And as soon as the oligarch system found out that Nikola Tesla was going to give everybody free renewable energy, well, they pretty much ruined his life. So we need to stop the drilling, the mining, the fracking, all the underwater drilling, all the underground testing, the blowing up of nuclear bombs, and all of this crap that we keep doing to the earth. There is enough money, even in the greed system, for every single person on this earth to have plenty of money to live on. And we've just lived in a system for too long that's let this happen. So be ready because the earth is going to keep fighting back. And, there's a lot of deep, dark operations that's been going on since the 50s. And people should be a lot more worried about people who live in that 1% of wealth and run the world, and the profits from war and from banking and from oil. They're all tied together, and they are ruining our earth, and they're putting us in this state of mind where we think that this is normal, and this is not normal. So Sirius C, let's get to that, is non physical. It is invisible to the eye and the etheric plane. It's connected to the other two Sirius stars. It serves as a two-way portal where the beings of light from other galaxies and universes enter our universe. So all the souls descending to experience lower realms, for example, you have to descend to be able to live in this chaotic earth and then start to ascend again. You've gone through this portal to get here. Um, and they also are in like the ninth dimensional ward is home of Sirius C. So this is where you get tales of unicorns, the dolphins, the whales, angels, the elementals, Christ-like, Christ light, sorry, Mother Sirius light, dragons, angel, the archangels, the illuminated ones, and obviously the Anunnaki were in there as well. So they're very much elements of air and water. So Sirius C welcomes any fairy life from air and water. Pixies, undines, nymphs, others, dwarves. Um, you learn higher vibrations as they prepare to evolve into angels, and Sirius C serves as a school and a mastery for them. I've gone through a lot of people's Akashic records that were even like a warring, like protective type of reptilian, not the destructive ones that I've talked about in other podcasts, but um, just reptilian species to bring them back down to a loving, protective, I've got your back kind of feeling. And so, Mother Sirius Light, you can just call her Lady Sirius, but I prefer and feel her as a mother, literally, Mother Sirius. So, Mother Sirius is an angel overlooking the star system, and her light is very soft. It's loving, it's feminine, it's protective, it's creative, it's nurturing. The silver and light blue pool of her energy is found on Sirius C when you feel sad and low and it's like nothing is going to plan. Come back to your mother. Jesus was also taught there. So Christ light is there. Christ is sadly been just butchered in the Bible stories. He was a real person with real abilities and a universal being. And because the Bible has been gutted and edited and gutted and edited by men to serve men's needs, we don't even know these people's all of their story, which is really sad. But Christ light pours from the source initially as a flow of 12-dimensional diamond white energy. It steps its frequency down as it enters Sirius C and forms in the pool of the ninth dimension then. And it's golden white light. So it's surrounded by luminous like rainbow halo. So invoke the golden ray of Christ's life for the strongest protection you can imagine and just stand right in the middle of it. Like I'm going through a process right now where I'm cleansing myself and healing myself from everything that I have experienced in life. I've pretty much gotten rid of everybody that was in my life because it was necessary because they no longer served me. So I've called on this light and this healing to come to me to be with me and mother light as well. So the 12th dimensional part of Sirius C, um, that's what houses the portal connecting our universe to the higher dimensions and other universes and galaxies. So it serves as a door to other higher dimensions. And I am the link between Andromeda Galaxy and the Milky Way galaxy. So I will just go astral projecting out into space when I need to heal and reach for that Sirius C portal and get there and call on those light beings that I need to help me and to heal me. There's also dragons of Sirius C. So if you could visit Sirius C in your meditations, you might meet one of these dragons. They're golden, white dragons. Um, the white crystal dragons of Archangel Gabriel, the golden and ruby dragons of Archangel Uriel, golden um, crystallized dragons, metallic blue dragons for Mother Sirius. If you are part of any order of a dragon, you come from Sirius. So you can also ask the dragons for guidance and advice, trust and wisdom and expertise. The ninth dimensional beings that are there, the souls incarnate on Sirius C and they enter into etheric body in two ways. So the first one is when a soul evolves over millions of years, it ascends and picks up the next life through Sirius C. That's the way back up. So, for example, after a life on Sirius B, someone moves up to level Sirius C, which is where the portal is. And that is the way to get to wherever your energy is supposed to go next and what you're supposed to do. So, someone that comes from highly developed universe through the 12th dimension Sirius C portal and descends to these lower ninth dimensionals of Sirius C. What's the purpose of that? Well, it's to learn other universes and bring their unique experience and their incredible love with them. So it's an education system. And I've even known people that I've read their Akashic Records that they're a part of the Draconians, which is kind of the force of all the nastiness that goes on in the world. And um, Draconians have actually been able to snap themselves out of it and be like, no, I really don't like this. I really don't like making war all the time and killing all the time and doing all these things all the time. And they'll spend time in Sirius and get rehabilitated. So it's the first time in our universe for her. She learned Sirius C at the same time to broaden her horizons. Um, that could be anybody, anybody. Broaden your horizons, bond with Sirius C. She's bonded with me greatly to touch the earth slightly just with the tip of her finger. It's a hugely alien planet for her. So the concept of our planet is just bizarre, too risky, too big of a gamble for Mother Sirius to be here. She perceives it like we watch the news on the television about something going on far, far away from us and just like watching all this craziness happen. Like, what in the good God? Um, and the information she downloads into me when I go into meditation and call for healing is don't be afraid to be different. Don't be afraid to think different. Your superpower isn't being different. Be bold, be brave. If everything goes as it has always been going, how do you expect the earth to change? So, if you want to see the new earth, try a new approach and start with yourself. It starts with a single person because obviously our governments are not doing anything about this. They're not changing their ways. The greed system isn't changing, fossil fuels, all of that stuff. Um, the collective name for the Sirius C souls is called the Illuminated Ones, and they're the keepers of the Sirius C, and 12 of them are the elders. So some of the illuminated ones work with specific areas in Sirius C, and some souls have been chosen to be guides and communicators for souls visiting Sirius C. So this was my role in Sirius C to meet and welcome the visitors and take them to the area to be resonated with in order meaning frequencies and healing and turning your life around. Um, I remember scanning their energy fields and instantly recognize which part of Sirius C was calling to me from them. So sit outside and meditate on it, put intention on it, who you want to talk to, what you need help with, what you need healing with, what your life is going through, any ascension symptoms that you're having, any ailments that you're having. Beings, energies that have Akashic records that come from any of the Sirius star system are really sensitive, really deep empaths, have a hard time living on this earth with all this chaos. And trust me, it kicks my ass all the time. They want to give and give too much of themselves. And that's one of the downside traits of incarnating into this bio body on Earth after being in Sirius C. You want to give too much of yourself to people into things that do not deserve it. So, why would these special nine-dimensional souls to go down choose to go down in vibration and incarnate in lower realms? Well, because it's a huge blazing flame of love in their hearts and a burning desire to make a difference in these realms. They want to make them better. So imagine their souls have evolved through millions of years, undergoing endless incarnations all over the place, coming from all over the place, and often they're there to learn and to grow before they get sent on to their energy gets sent into another body and another life. So these people, their light shines enormously, and their their life's mission on Sirius C, but after coming back into the spiritual realm, they want to embrace the whole world with their love. So, and they decide to go to areas of the universe where there is less love. And famous examples of these originate from Sirius C, like Jesus Christ and Mother Mary, Magdalene, myself. They have a very hard time on this life, and anybody that signs a soul contract to come to Earth, these universal beings, not just the Sirians, but all of the universal beings, have great respect for that because they know how hard it is and they know how much we suffer here and they know how much we have to just keep fighting and striving all the time to even want to be here sometimes because it gets so bad with the things that people do to each other and to the planet. Um, so you'll feel very heavy hearted on Earth. You'll feel like you just don't fit in here. Um, you know that you have greater powers and that you're meant to be here to help the Earth, to save the Earth. You have a very specific mission here for that. And there's 14 signs that you originate from Sirius C. So people feel something angelic about you. You're soft, you're beautiful, beautiful light, your patience and your consideration for the imperfections of the world they live in you, your kindness, love, and seeing the good in everyone and the silver lining in every situation. You're trustworthy and unfortunately too trusty because you get taken advantage of. But as you mature and as you grow in this body, in this 3D world, you start to discern who you can trust and what you need to let go and what does not serve you in life. And as hard as that is to do, it is terribly painful to do. Trust me, I'm still going through that process right now. It is terribly painful, but is necessary for your life. You also connect easily with angels, elementals, because you've been rubbing shoulders with them and hanging out with them in Sirius C for a very, very long time. So you'll often have a love of angels, fairies, dragons, mermaids, and you probably have a ton of figurines or paintings or art or reading about them, or they come up in your life a lot. So as a part of your life contract, your own energy often gets an influx of angelic or elemental energy. So I am very much an elemental. I can hear nature speak and talk to me. Um, so they impact the earth directly through you. They're working through you to direct the earth and help the earth. And there's a good book that you guys can buy, written by Lorna Brine, and it's called Angels in My Hair. And that this talks about these things a lot. So Also, you prefer to work in the background. You're not like a narcissist where you have to have all this attention and whatever. You're not interested in fame and regalia. Um, you're a healer, and there's always been like a distance between you and even the closest people to you. And so I had to go through that process, and I literally needed. I grew up in a gigantic family on both sides of my family, and literally everybody is gone. And I needed them to pass over and cross over because I needed them to be at their full power in order to help me. And that has been a very tough thing that I'm going through right now. And I wrote that in my soul contract with my family members. So um, you definitely have a lot of healing gifts, but you avoid working directly with people. For example, like hands on massage. You don't like mixing directly with people's energy. So distant healing would be more your thing. Um, Actually, anything distant and in the distance is the right thing for you. Like I remote view, I astral project. I do live healings on people, but it's only for people that I know are ready to take these actions or ready to take these steps in their life. If it's someone just coming for a Reiki session or something and they're just not prepared to make these steps in their life, then I pretty much tell them there's no point if you're not ready to go down this long road that you're going to go on to change your life. So everyone from Sirius is a portal in and of themselves. You can bring the healing energy through you and direct it anywhere it needs to go. And you also possess a lot of psychic abilities. You have all the clairs: clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, claircognizance, all of those things. You're very good at astral projecting. I can go shooting off anywhere I want to go around the world, around the universe. You feel drawn to horses, wolves, dogs, whales, dolphins. Um, very attracted to animals, and animals are very attracted to you. And Series C has a connection with air and water, so you're probably born under an air or water sign. I'm a Libra, so I'm an air sign. Um, if you have a love for the sea, for the ocean, and you feel the sea, you actually feel it talking to you, feel it resonating with you. It's not just a body of water in front of you. And you're a big picture kind of person. You see the big picture and not just what's going on right now. You can see into the future and the big picture and what's going to happen. So your vision embraces the whole world and beyond. You embrace the adventure, not always like a physical adventure, but wanderings of your mind when the in the books that you choose to read and the things you choose to educate yourself. And you can't be stuck in a routine all the time, every single day, day after day, month after month. That whole get up, go to work, eat breakfast, come home, be exhausted, take care of your kids, get up, go to your crappy job, get up and that every day, that kind of you just can't do that. Sirians cannot do that. Your ideas and your outlook on life are fresh ideas, they're unorthodox ideas, they're bold ideas, they're revolutionary ideas, and you can't tolerate heavy negativity. And unfortunately, the world is surrounded by that right now. So you have to be careful what media you take in, what you're listening to, and obviously meditating. You're super sensitive souls. You don't tolerate loud and especially distressing noises. You want to cover your ears with your hands. TV can actually irritate you, and a lot of different things like this. So you need to learn to get into a meditative state and go in through that portal of Sirius C and get the healing that you need. But just remember that no one goes straight from Sirius C to Earth. Even Jesus had to incarnate on Sirius B and Venus before entering Earth realms. I had to go through a dissension process throughout all of my universal lives in order to live on Earth as well. And there is a little writing, like kind of from the Sirians, and this came up when I was meditating one day. So I'm actually like gonna look over here and read it, because I know I'm like glancing back and forth at notes because I don't want to miss anything. But my dear Sirius Seed Starseed, first of all, set firm boundaries for yourself. People will try to walk all over you. Protect your time and space. Have time for yourself and the quality you time. Spend time in nature. Remember to give love to the little child inside you. Yes, you are a big boy or girl now, but still marvel at the earth's wonders. Like, don't ever grow up. Have that childlike innocence. That big boat at the sea, that dragonfly or that tiny bug that stopped your eyes and just froze your eyes and you connected with it. Connect with it. And laugh and joke often, and remember that souls from the ninth dimension world incarnate on earth for a special reason. And it is a big reason. Only your soul knows what this reason is, so you need to get into your soul contract, get your Akashic Records read. And by the way, I have a course on Udemy. It's got half off right now, and mine goes into a lot more depth than any of the other ones that I have seen on there, because I go into all the beings that you'll encounter, all the starseed ascension symptoms, all the health issues that starseeds go through based on their energy and what universal being DNA they have within them. Know your gift and give it away. Like, let yourself shine. You have pure gold to give to this planet. Earth needs your unique talents. This is what you volunteered to incarnate here for in these crucial times on Earth, and to turn around the history of the Earth and bring it out of the darkness. And to the new golden future, to learn about other universes and bring their unique experience to their incredible love with them. So my Sirius Sea guides have done exactly that for me. Um, and it's time that we start listening to the universe a lot more and get out of our earthly ways. So, what do Sirius souls do during their incarnations in Sirius Sea? So, some have chosen to be guides and communicators for the souls that visit there. My role on Sirius C was to meet and welcome visitors and take them to an area where they could resonate and heal with frequency. And I'm still a person that prefers to be flexible and be able to move around, which is why I love portals. I can open portals, I can close portals. I've dealt with bad portals, good portals. Um, I've been through so many portals on Earth, it's crazy, and in the universe. So you won't find a lot of serious star seeds on Earth, um, but when you do run into them, you know them. They are the people that are especially sensitive. and have great empathy and want to heal people and heal the world. And they're definitely the ones that get walked on the most. So, those are the Sirians, you guys. And they have a big story and a big role to play. And you need to take care of yourself and know that you are a Sirian. And all of these traits that I just listed to you are, pause this video and watch it again and listen to the things that I said of how these beings are and how you are and what you connect with in life, because it'll become really clear to you really fast if you're from Sirius star system, especially Sirius C. So I'll give you one more look at the Sirians, and they are a wonderful, just harmonious, loving group of universal beings that are just amazing. And look for those traits and see within yourself if you're from this star system and what incarnations you've had in this star system. And like I said, I have a course on Udemy, um, and I'll post it in the description for this video if you guys want to find it, to learn how to read Akashic Records. And it's very in depth because it goes into everything that you're going to encounter throughout universal lives, universal DNA, the Anunnaki, the role they had to play, Atlantis, Lemuria, starseed ascension symptoms, illnesses that you get from your starseed DNA, and do you attract animals? Do you attract nature? Have you always been fascinated by mer people, with dragons, with these kinds of things? Pay attention to those things because that means you're from Sirius. So, welcome to the Sirians, you guys. I know that was kind of a mouthful, and I'm like jotting my eyes back and forth, like looking at my notes because I just didn't want to miss anything because there's so much information on the Sirians. And if you ever get the chance to see one of their tetrahedron ships, that was like the coolest thing I have ever encountered in my life. And it was so loving and so welcoming. And I could tell that they were just out there watching what people are doing in that West Desert area of Utah. So, welcome to the Sirians, you guys. I'll have more podcasts coming soon. Please like and subscribe to this page. I'm I'm new at YouTube, so any more followers and subscribers I get is awesome. Then you'll know when I post another podcast, another video. Sometimes I have guests on and I'm talking with them on different topics. And these are all topics that are meant to help you understand the real world around you. And it's definitely not the 3D, greedy, war torn, violent place that we live in. So it's up to us to change that. And we need to start doing that and changing it and thinking a lot differently as humans, and not how much can I consume and how much can I buy, and I need this and I need more money and more money and more money. Like, that's not the way things are supposed to work. So, love yourselves, everybody. I will post another video soon, but like and subscribe, and I will see you guys again very, very soon.